Welcome to another episode of Emotional Nightmares. My name is Tyler. I'm your host. We're still down here, still down in Butler, Club 831, doing a bunch of interviews down here. Got some scheduled today and tomorrow, so keep on the watch for those. On today's episode, we got with me a gentleman by the name of Billy. He's going to share his experience, strength, and hope with us. Kind of talk about his journey in recovery. So, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, well, to start, my name is William Hogue, and I'm a recovering addict. Basically, my journey started at the age of 12 with my mother. That was the prime start of a lot of my addiction. We did a lot of drugs together through the years. There was me, my brother Chucky mostly, and my mother, and we that was it.
So you were getting high with your mom?
Oh yeah.
So essentially then, like most people, like we normalize these behaviors at a young age.
Yeah, for the longest time I thought it was normal to come home and get high, to clean the house. Like, that was what we did. And the very first time I can remember doing cocaine, I got out of school and it was a normal day, I thought, and she offered to have me help clean the house. I was agreed, like always. And she's like, well, let's do this first. And she pulled out a bag with white powder in it, and it wasn't a big line, but afterwards, I made it like 16 steps. I sat down in the living room chair and I took a nap.
How old were you?
12.
Okay.
And that's when I realized, like, it really didn't do the whole speed thing. It kind of slowed a lot of my running around down, because I was naturally hyper. And after that, the next thing we really did was she offered me crack at 13. That's when things went real downhill for the family. Like, we fell apart then. My brother got real distant. My mom started going out more. It just went downhill. But up until 12, we had dinner every night as a family. Like, we did the normal things.
So then roughly around 12, then mom kind of speed rocketed a lot of this, right?
Yeah.
So she was going through her own addictions as well.
Yeah, she's had her own addictions my whole life.
Okay. So when you're in high school then, because that would have been like the high school age, you're smoking crack. Are you going to school?
Well, that's where the growing up at a young age happened real bad for me. I was the youngest. My brother Chucky was real book smart. So I took into consideration, if my mom is out smoking crack, the bills aren't being paid, my brother's going to school and he's good at it, I started working. I'd cut grass after school. She had one of her boyfriends that was a drywall finisher, and I worked for him. And that's what started my whole career choice. Like, I built houses since I was young, but I've always worked. And that was my option. Most mornings, it was either go to school or go to work. And depending what day it was or if bills needed to be paid is what I did.
Okay. So, at what age were you when you were like, this can't be normal?
Probably 17, 18. I realized, like, the life I was living is not a normal child. I shouldn't have had to do what I had to do. But at that point, I'd been doing it so long. Like, I was the only one there. I watched all of my siblings fight with my mother, like fist fight with her. And they walk away, and I didn't. So, at the point, like, I just continued doing what I knew what to do. Take care of her.
Okay. So there's a lot of codependency here.
Oh, yes, that's one of the biggest things I've come to realize in my life is my codependency stems from a very long trauma.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So at 17, you're saying this isn't normal. So is this your first introduction into recovery?
No.
No?
No. My first introduction into recovery didn't happen until I was 27.
Okay.
And by that point, my mother has stolen everything off of me, left me in a state with nothing, and just left numerous times. And each time I just picked up the pieces of where I could and carried on with myself. And at 27, I just got out of prison for the first time. I went back to my ex's house. That didn't work out. And I called my parole officer and told him I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to fix it, but I knew I needed to do something different. So he drove 2 hours out to see me, and as he was calling rehabs for me, I was hiding upstairs in the loft getting high, panicking, because I didn't even know what to pack for rehab. I had to ask him. And I stole my ex's flip-flops as I was walking out the front door for shower shoes, which I was kind of glad I did that by the time I got to rehab. But I left all of my socks. I didn't even match them all up, never even packed them, left them in the drawer. So I was very unprepared by the time I hit rehab. But I did inpatient rehab, then went to the halfway house, and then went to a 3/4 house, and that's how I ended up in Butler.
How long have you been sober now?
Well, this is now pushing on 6 months.
Okay.
It's not my first clean time, but so when I first hit Butler and I started my first rehab thing, I made it 10.5 months, and I had received a phone call that my mother had felt unresponsive and passed away. So that took a downward spiral into my recovery, and it was a lot harder to deal with than I thought.
Okay.
I didn't use the tools that I'd been given. I didn't talk to people. I thought if I just pushed it to the side, it'd go away like everything else did. It didn't work. So I ended up back in rehab and doing it again. And then I got with a girl when I got out of rehab that time, and they always say wait that first year, and I thought that was because of the whole clean date thing. So I figured if she had more clean time than I did, how could it go wrong? Well, it did. I learned my lesson there. So.
Okay. So this is not your first time. How many rehabs have you been to?
2.
2? Okay. So what was different this time around?
What's different this time around than any other time?
Yeah, what are you doing different this time? Because if you've done this before, right?
Yeah.
So from what I'm gathering from you, right, from what you're saying, so we have a long history of substance abuse, right, where it's all normal, right? So in the program in recovery, how we always talk about unmanageability, right? It's hard to understand what unmanageability is when everything we know is normal. So like that so-called unmanageability to us is normalized behavior, right? So you've normalized a lot of this behavior all throughout growing up to like here you are now. You're 6 months in, which is awesome, right? But what do you think is different that you're doing different this time compared to any other time?
Breaking it simply down to following the suggestions I was given, working an actual program, and attending meetings, talking to sober supports. When faced with an issue, don't immediately react, like think it through. I have a bad habit of impulsive actions, and they get me in trouble, so I try to think things through, get an outsider's opinion. Don't make any outrageous decisions without thinking it through. But there's overall just thinking it through differently this time compared to before. And each time I've been to rehab, there is something else I've taken away. And this time it's not, I didn't quit after rehab this time. I didn't stop, continuing to work on myself. The packet work they give you in rehab, I don't do them as much, but I still occasionally will read into them. I saved all of my rehab paperwork from the very first one I've ever been in.
Okay.
I have a bad habit of forgetting things, so if I can go back, why not?
Okay. So, when you say working on yourself, right, what does that mean?
Well,
how are you working on yourself today in a positive way?
That would have to be a lot of the self-affirmations. From a young age, I've had a very poor thought of myself.
Mm-hmm.
Being the youngest in the family, I have a lot of bullying from older siblings. And then my mother was no help with her addiction. A lot of the times I was the one of the problem. And for a long time I thought if I just removed myself from the issue, the problems would go away. Well, that doesn't fix anything, it just leaves it for somebody else. So actually acknowledging I am an okay person and I do a decent job in life is a lot of where I need to be. Because that codependency and people pleasing, it's easy for me to put anybody else's needs before mine, whether I know them or not. A complete stranger, I have no problem helping over worrying about my own problems. Because it's something I've done my whole life. And now I'm actually working on considering my own self first. If I want to take a personal day, I say something. I've never really done that before.
So in a sense, recovery kind of gave you a voice.
Yes.
You would say. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a sponsor?
Yes.
That you're calling?
Yes.
Daily?
Yeah. Actually, speak to them daily.
Okay.
I'm working on my steps.
When you say you're working on your steps, what do you mean?
Well, I just finished step 1. I haven't gone over it with him. I'm writing out step 2 already, so I'm working on that.
Well, you should wait to write step 2 until you go over step 1. Right?
Yeah.
So in step 1, right? So what about that really jumped out at you? What'd you learn about yourself?
About myself? That a lot of the problems start with my own thinking. And that's my biggest problem in life, is it's easy for me to put myself down and point out my flaws, and then I get stuck in that. And it doesn't, like, I've struggled real hard with it through my life. And I have a bad habit of looking at myself through other people's eyes, and I can't do that. Like, it doesn't get me far, and there are people I will just never be able to please. And the problem with all this is my mother was the biggest one of those. So I've spent many years trying to please someone that just didn't care. So now, after recovery, like, to find my purpose and what I like to do is difficult. Mm-hmm. Like, when the most easiest way to explain it is when a counselor asks in school in like the 5th or 6th grade what you want to be, what you like to do. I never answered those questions in school. Well, I could answer the career one. I wanted to be a welder. Like, and that's what I went to Votech for. Like, that was easy. But what I did for fun, who my friends were, I couldn't answer those. Like, I didn't have answers for them. I didn't know what fun was. I worked after school, cut grass, hung cabinets, did drywall. Like,
what do you do for fun now?
Well, if I'm not working, I go out and hang out with friends. I have a friend that's into anime. I'm not really into anime, but I sit there and endure it because it's something different. And it's not work. I like to shoot pool.
You don't like anime?
I'm not really big into it, but I have been watching more of it.
Have you watched Chainsaw Man yet?
No, I could
do a whole episode on Chainsaw Man.
I just finished One Punch.
Okay. I like that one. That one cracks me up. I'm a big fan of Chainsaw Man. That's probably my favorite.
Shangri-La Frontier is another one that I'm into.
Okay.
That's another...
You watched Demon Slayer yet?
No.
You should.
Okay.
Demon Slayer and Chainsaw Man. We're going to do a whole episode on just them.
But other than that, like, work is really what I've always based myself around. But it's more of I enjoy what I do.
Okay.
Like, I've worked hard at where I'm at in my work. Like, I'm no professional, but I do work hard and I do know what I'm doing. If I don't, I'm not scared to ask questions. You don't learn it if you don't ask.
So 6 months in. So we're 6 months into sobriety where you haven't touched drugs or alcohol, right? So in this 6 months time, you think it's better? Do you 100%. Enjoy this better?
100%, I'd have to say. Like, beforehand, like, I ran from a lot of things, and in the last years of my addiction, I quit really using and started going to court more. And the last thing I had to do was my prison sentence. Going to prison was actually one of the best things that I could have done.
Because they have the shebangs.
Yeah, the shebangs for it. No. To be honest, the TC block.
Okay, TC.
Yeah, those ridiculous...
You loved it, huh? You're one of the very few people.
Books that they give you are really what helped me out a lot there.
How did it help you?
Because I looked at it like school.
Okay.
Because I'd fucked up so much in my life. When I'd hit prison, the people that were doing actual bids there, like, mine was very small. Like, they laughed at me when I said mine. But a lot of them told me, like, I can either do good here or I can just come back. And I didn't want to come back because it was nothing like the horror stories I was told growing up. Like, it wasn't I wasn't scared to go to the shower, but it still wasn't.
Not fun.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. Like,
So let me ask you this, right? So, because you're talking about like TC and like how it was beneficial for you. So, what do you think that you learned the most that was the most beneficial from TC? Like, what was the biggest thing you took away from it?
the thought process in life.
Okay. How so?
Because a lot of life is based off thought and action. Like, if you think a certain way, your actions will display that. And a lot of the time, like, you can't control what happens, but you can control how you react.
100%.
And that's a big thing, like, I've been working on is, like, how I react to things, because
How do you react to him today?
depending situation.
Okay. That's fair. That is a fair answer. So, like, one of the things I always talk about a lot with people is I always ask them, like, is this real? Right? And, like, that's the concept of that cognitive behavioral therapy that you're talking. Like, in our reality, like, when we're changing the thought process, one of the things is to ask yourself, like, is this even real? Does this even matter? Right? Like, because your perception of it is going to be different than somebody else's perception, right? So, like, you have to ask yourself, like, is this even important? First of all, am I mad at something that's not even important? Like, a year from now, does this matter? Is this real?
This last trip to rehab, I actually went to Oil Region Recovery, which was a very good stop, which I should have stayed there the last time before, but I transferred out of there. But I went to an outside meeting there, and the speaker that I went and heard explained something to me in the simplest way that when it hit me, like, it dawned on me like a light bulb. And from then on, like, life has been different.
What did he explain?
He just held out his hand and he said, that's it. Because my thinking is it. Like, if I think somebody has a problem with me, it's a problem. Like, so in my head, if I can hold out my hand, if I can't put my thoughts in my hand and show them to somebody, then I have nothing to worry about at that point. And to be honest, like, thinking down upon myself, like, it helps. Because if I think I'm fucking things up that day, or I make too many wrong cuts on a saw, like, I'll stop and I'll just think for a second, like, is this really what it is? And all it is a simple trick of looking at my hand. And it was that simple, like...
Sounds simple.
Yeah.
That works?
It works. Like, if I can't
all
put
that
my
matters.
thoughts in my hand to show somebody else, then they can't matter that much.
Amen to that. I can agree. So, the person that's sitting out there tonight, right? He's sitting there, he's watching this, he's thinking to himself, today's a good day, I'm going to smoke crack, right? What is it that you would say?
Same thing that I've told everybody. There's a better way to live. And coming from the point of I've tried to buy somebody's recovery in the midst of my addiction.
How do you do that?
Okay, so the first love of my life...
I need to know how to sell my recovery.
Okay, the first love of my life
It's a new hustle.
Was a girl named Kayla Ross.
Well,
and
allegedly.
Hey, well, no, she really was. I chased her for 11 years.
Okay.
And between on and off in 11 years, I have tried everything from geographical relocations.
You take you with you.
Yes. And a straight cold cash offer of $1,500 a week cash to stop shooting dope, and that's it. And she gave me my money back 3 hours later and told me no. So, like, you can't buy somebody's addiction, you can't beat it out of them, and...
Well, no, if that worked, that would have worked with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would have worked with you.
So, it's in a long journey, like, the best thing I could say to somebody, there is a better way to live. I'm not saying it comes easy, and I'm not saying it comes quick, but it does come.
Yeah.
If you put in the effort.
Amen to that. You're gonna after you're done talking here, you're gonna go meet up with your sponsor and go over step 1 with them.
I'll set a date for that as soon as I walk off this stage.
I hope so. Right? Because so many more sights to see. Right?
Yeah.
If you just stay sober. Right?
Yeah, like, and recovery's brought me to things that I never really got to do before. Like, I got to see the ocean.
Nice.
Yep. And literally that came out of nowhere. And if I wouldn't have been where I was, I wouldn't have got the chance to do it. So.
Funny how that works.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the greatest gifts in recovery is, like, you just never know what's going to happen. But as long as you just stay sober in your presence, like, you'd be amazed on the shit that happens, right?
Yeah.
You know, the line from Hellraiser is so real, right? Such sights to show you. Yeah. But you got to stick with us. You got to stick with it. Yeah. So you're going to keep going?
Yeah.
You don't want your pain and misery back?
No. And that's something
else
I've heard in a meeting was like, they said go to a meeting for 90 days and every day put $1 in your top drawer. And then after 90 days, if you don't feel better about yourself, you have $90 to go start your addiction all over again. And to be honest, like, they have a point. Like, in 90 days, like, just try it.
Yeah. I always tell people, give me 18 months, right? Because I know, like, my first 90 days were miserable. I didn't want to be here, right? I always tell people, like, first of all, what's 18 months, right? We're the people that we'll do 18 months standing on our head. Who cares, right? If you just give 18 months of a new way of life, if nothing's better, by all means, like, prison ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
The dope dealers, they might have to change locations, but they're still gonna be there, right? The crack is, I bet you, here in Butler, I could just walk outside and say, I need a bag, and somebody gonna come running, right? As much as I love this area, I know it's everywhere, right? So, at the end of the day, you're 6 months in, right? So, give it 18. And 18 months, if your life ain't better, by all means, go back to doing what you were doing. Go back to your misery. Because I guarantee you in 18 months, you're going to say, man, I don't ever want to go back to that shit. And you're already saying that after 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just shows right there, right? As the sirens go by, none of us care, right? A room full of addicts, and we're all just kind of sitting here like, hey, fuck them. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
The things you normalize nowadays.
Yeah, right? Normalize new behaviors, right? Shit like that's beautiful, I think. So, alright, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on, sharing a little bit with us.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, alright, man, as always, you could have been anywhere in the world today. You sat here and chose to listen to us. I appreciate you for listening. I hope that you heard something here today that can help you. If you did not hear anything here today, that's fine. We have other episodes, and if the other episodes aren't doing it, by all means, pick up the phone and call somebody. Don't call the dope man. Call somebody to save your life. Call somebody that cares about you, not just your money. So we appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. like, share, subscribe, and continue to share it with your friends. Alright, thank you.
Thank you for watching.